Hello and welcome to the second of our sessions of Pipedream. Pipedream is a game by Kai Po, and we'll have a link to where this is, where this can be found in the show notes. This is a kind of pastoral game that draws a little bit from Cthulhu Dark and some other things, and it is about slacker halfling investigators smoking pipeweed and solving crimes, that is the basics of it. Last time, our intrepid halfling / hobbit, I will use those terms interchangeably, adventurers were able to solve a case, which actually means that they're going to get an advance today, and I'll talk about that in just a second. If you're watching this is part of the Gauntlet Hangouts. The Gauntlet is an online gaming club / community. We have a calendar that's kind of an app that people can go to and sign up for games. We have a Patreon that supports that, so people can get a little bit early access to game signups. It's a community that has reliable games. All the games use safety tools, and you might want to check it out. You can find out more about that at gauntlet-rpg.com. Our safety tools in play are X card, and then our lines and veils to remind everybody a hard line on childhood abandonment, sexual assault, and torture. And then veil, meaning fading to black, on eye injuries, harm to animals, harm to children, and sexual content. So those are our lines and veils for play. So you all were able to solve a case last time, which means that you have a choice of one thing that you can add. And here are your choices. You can add a flaw. You can add a work experience. You can add a special, or you can have another bag of elderweed of a different blend. So I'll let you take a look through. Any thoughts on what you might want, Stephen?
Not yet.
Okay. If you take, for example, from a special, there are a few specials that will add to your dream. It will push up your dream. You will heal harm from last time if you were injured, and I know some of you were slightly injured. That will heal. Your dream will not reset yet.
When does your dream reset?
I didn't see a section for that in the rules, but here's how in play you reset your dream is when you hit up to, I believe it is 5, you can start to work your way back from that, and that is by sabotaging the case. The rules for that are, let's see, suppressing dream. When you reach dream 5, you reduce it by taking actions to sabotage the case or getting everybody to go home. You have to also stop smoking elderweed, at least for that moment. When you do this, you roll your dream die. If you roll less than your current dream, you reduce it by 1. And even after you've dropped that down by below 5, you can still continue that process to bring it back down.
So you could add a special, a new kind of pipeweed, and what was the third thing?
A work experience or a flaw.
Got it.
And Stephen, I think you and I can drop people if they get to 5 if we do the meal share, right?
I think that's true.
Yeah.
I'm taking a new kind of weed.
Okay. Which one are you going to take?
I have added on bitter bark, which I can add 1 dream to avoid taking physical harm.
Okay. Thick and bittersweet. I imagine that you have pocketed your comrades' tobacco while they are in the Husgau, as I imagine that they are right now.
So I hate to double up, but I think what I'd like to do is I'd like to take a Hillfoot hole as a special.
Okay.
And I'd like to say that this is the underground area underneath the tavern where we had that they're
Ooh,
going to let me stay.
okay.
Yeah.
So there is a sub basement that exists there.
I think I'm going to take Far Country weed, which allows me to hear the voices of the dead. And at 3 or 4 dream, I can understand them. Meaning before that, I can hear them but not understand them. From at 3 to 4, I can understand them, and they can understand me. And at 5, I'll be able to take a harm. I will have to take 1 harm, and then the dead just swamp me.
The only thing I'm going to mention to you is that that is a doubling up on a tobacco that is already existing in the group. But
I
I'm
didn't
cool
realize
with
that. In that case,
yeah.
well, let me take a look at what other people have.
Sure.
Because Mellowfinch, Far Country. Okay. Basically, I want one that what I'm looking for is one with like downsides to using because those are more fun. And the one I took does not. So hold on. You know what? Let's just take let's take Honeystone. Get some light.
Yeah. That'll be useful, and it won't at all reveal your position.
Never. It's nothing like an elf sword.
So the 3 of you are in your lodge quarters, and you are relaxing there. You have a variety of potatoes that you are finishing off as this is going on. As well, you have probably put a significant dent in your supply of fine brandy by this point. And that has gone pretty well. So it's been an enjoyable couple of days. Tell me, what have you been doing the last few days after the successful adventure, Sally? What have you been doing?
I've been since I was thrown out unceremoniously from the last bar that I went into.
Yes.
I think I'm trying to. So I've gone to some of the other bars in town, and I want to basically make my name good here. So I'm playing a little bit of music, drinking a little bit, maybe taking some of that brandy that we had along with me to share with the other patrons. Oh, here's a little flask that we can share.
And are you telling the tale of Double Punt?
Absolutely. However, it grows every time that I tell it.
All right.
The actual tale is distorted, but I'm basically spreading rumor. Yeah.
Okay, that seems fair. And certainly you have alcohol as gifts. You have your fine voice, and you will be able to tell this tale. What about you, Milo Uyuhai? What have you been up to the last few days?
I think since having had this success and this marvelous brandy, I have been frequenting the theater where the newest production has been going on and making sure that they're aware of. Well, obviously, I think that they're doing fantastically, but there are a few things that could be changed, like the book and your acting.
And what production are they doing currently?
Ooh, let's see. I think Who's Afraid of Virginia Fox?
Too tragic tale of a fox spirit and a hobbit.
Mm.
That makes sense. And Brink, I have some suspicion about what you've been up to the last few days, but why don't you fill me in?
If you guessed gambling, you would be right, except here's the thing.
Yes.
So shockingly, the gambling houses don't take potatoes, which is surprising in a place full of halflings, but that is what it is. And so I've only actually been like, I was only really managed to gamble for one of those days, because I ran out of money. And then
did you go back to that place where you were cut off so unpleasantly from your game?
Well, they were expecting me to come back, right? Like if I remember how that went correctly, it wasn't so much me that was cut off as that I had to leave because my companion was being
obstinate,
disruptive.
Okay.
Disruptive. They were kind of mad at me too, but I think I got out fast enough that and they were very pleased when I showed up and lost all of my money to them. I'm welcome back anytime. They don't take credit, which is probably good for me, because I know they'll always let me back in because I'm not going to owe them anything. And then I sort of spent the remainder of my time, I think, trying to just mostly hanging out in the lodge house. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
In the lodge house, trying to track down, I have a razor. I know there's a pair of shears in there somewhere, and if I could just set up a booth for half a day, I could make enough to win back what I lost.
Absolutely. Find those shears, get them sharpened up. So the three of you are there when there will be a substantive knock on the door, and you hear, is anyone in there?
And I'll go to the door and I'll open it up. And I think I kind of open it up with a flourish.
Whoa.
Oh, fine gentlemen, come into our establishment.
Oh, well, has his hat clutched in his hands. Oh, I coming in, and steps in. You are the wise fellers, then, right.
Indeed we are, my good chap.
I have it to understand that you deal with the inexplicable.
That might take some explaining.
Well, no, I can't, because by definition, it's inexplicable.
Oh,
yes. I think we're supposed to do the explaining.
Yeah. No. Yes, absolutely, yes. Oh, that's on me.
What do you want to explain?
May I have a seat on these lovely leather cushions, then?
Of course. Have yourself a seat.
He sits down, kind of pulls the bottle out from behind him, kind of puts that off to the side, and you can tell he's a farmer halfling, and he's still got that little cap, and he's working it hard, and he's like, So I went to the sheriff, and I spoke to the sheriff, and the sheriff called me some names, and then I went to some other people, and I talked to them, and I told them what had gone on, and they but laughed at me.
Well, sir, you should tell us. We shan't laugh at you, and we are far more effective than any sheriff.
No promises.
She may laugh at you. Or he may laugh at you, I'm sorry.
Okay. Wait, understand, sir. Someone has stolen my cows and replaced them with exact duplicates.
Why is this a problem? That sounds great.
Oh,
Because they're not my cows. Then, I mean, they're my cows, but they're not my cows. If you take my meaning,
if they're exact duplicates, then no harm, no foul, right?
No. I mean, they look like my cows, and this and that, but they're not like my cow. There's something wrong.
What distinction have you uncovered that makes them not the same as your cows? What makes you believe that they're duplicates rather than the original?
Well, if you worked long enough around your beasts, you get what we might call a sixth sense, and I got a sixth sense about these things. That I look in their eyes and I can tell that this looks like Flossie. This looks like Bessie. This looks like Kurt, but they're not.
Why would anyone gift you with faux Flossie?
I don't know. See, a couple of nights ago, I went out and the cows are missing. And I got all upset. And I went out and I called the sheriff at that point and went and roused some people and stuff like that. But when we got back, the cows were back.
But not the same.
Well, I thought they were the same at that point, but it was the next day that I was like, oh, no, these aren't my cows.
Before you left to see the sheriff, was there any... Had the cows gotten into something? Has there been the fence down? Was there hoof prints off somewhere, or were they just gone? Poof?
Well, it is a barnyard, so there were hoof prints, if that is what you're asking.
A poof of smoke, and I blow out some smoke as I say it.
No, I don't think my cows were smoking. But
in a direction, where their hoof prints off in a direction, not all just in the barnyard there.
Sir, I was a little thrown off myself. At that point, the barn door was open, and I rang the bells for them to come, and I looked about, and they were not about, and so then I made myself scarce over to the sheriff's, and I woke him up, much to his consternation, and once I was able to get him and some people together, we walked about the usual fields. And they were not there. And then when I came back, they were in my barn. And let us say that the sheriff, I thought that he might take his cudgel to me, but he did not do me that honor.
Was your barn closed when you returned?
Oh, now that you mention it, it was not.
So they were milling about inside of the barn.
Yes,
despite the door being open.
Right. They returned to their stalls.
Yeah. And you're pretty certain that you had the door closed in the night before they disappeared.
Good sir, I would almost swear on such a thing. Now, mind you, I did have perhaps a sifter or two of ale and perhaps some hard cider, and perhaps just a smidgen of the tobacco before I went to bed.
Well, we wouldn't be friends if you didn't.
Exactly, but not enough to have made me not remember to close the barn door.
And the stalls were also closed when you got back?
They were open, sir.
So they were standing there with the open stall doors.
Yes.
And has anyone coveted your cows recently? Have they offered to buy them from you, or?
Oh, I get offers, but more around market day and things like that. But no one that is in my cows are not particularly glossy, or particularly fine furred, or have particularly sweet milk. It is an acquired taste, the cream that comes from my cows.
Oh. Eh, so what precisely do you wish us to do? Merely...
I want you to find where my cows are.
And what will you do with these duplicates?
Well, I don't know. I guess I'll have 2 cows then. Well, 2 cows for each cow. So 6 cows then, if I count my sums right.
But breed them.
Oh, I don't know if I want to breed cows with themselves.
Well, maybe with the others.
Oh, that's a good point then. But I don't know, but I don't know what they are. It might be, I fear that there is wizardry afoot.
Oh.
How would we be able to tell the difference between your cows?
Well, as I have to understand, you're wise fellows.
Oh, we are, but even you can't tell very quickly. They fooled you for a little while.
But you're wise fellows, right?
Of course.
And when again did you say this all occurred?
It's been 2 days now since they came that night, and I just got started to get to me, and you know, and then I was today going around and abouts and apparently making myself look like a damn fool to other people.
If you'll give us just a moment. And
he stands up. No, okay, yeah.
Off to a corner. What do you think of all this? Is the man just gone batty?
I mean, we can always take his money and then putter around a wee bit, and then tell him we've replaced the replacements with the proper cows. There was wizardry afoot.
He hasn't offered us any money yet, has he?
Oh, that's a good point.
We should discuss payment, but are we intrigued by it?
Well, it sounds really easy. I mean, all we have to do is walk off with the duplicates and bring them back and see if he can tell the difference.
I agree. Brigg, you're always very good with sums and figures. Why don't you discuss payment with this gentleman?
Of course. So, sir?
Yes.
We would love to help you.
Just call me Rory.
Rory, we would love to help you. I think
good.
We don't know as much about cows as you, and we don't know much about wizardry, but, figure we pace around and use our wisdom, and we'll track them down somehow. But can't quite do it for nothing, There's expenses. There's pipeweed to be bought. There's my shoes. I'm going to be walking around. The soles of my shoes are going to wear out. Maybe the point will get blunt.
Well,
and the lodge has got to be kept up.
I understand. You will forgive me if I say that I do not have much in the way of loose coin. A few pieces of change that I can do. I do have a wheel of excellent cheddar, quite voluminous, that I had been planning on giving to my cousin. Good, big,
okay,
a hefty one that I had been planning to give my cousin. Where he met an untimely end at the feet of a pony a few days ago, and most sad.
Sorry to hear that.
Oh, yes.
So is this cheddar from your cows? Because you said that they were an acquired taste.
Well, all cheese is an acquired taste. That as I understand it, like the Roquefort or Flatfoot or Saint Stinkins, any of those are fine cheeses that have an acquired taste to them, and they are only the better for requiring a distinguished palate. As well, with enough wine, the cheese will go with anything.
Fair point. Might I propose something? Should we return your original cows? How about one of the duplicates for each one of us? You don't want a cow?
Well, if that's what it would take, and you brought back my cows, and there were duple cows, then I would be glad to hand off the duple cows, because I don't want duple cows and regular cows mixing.
I'm just not certain that it's possible if we bring back the cows, the duple cows won't be there anymore. They might cancel. It's like cow. Maybe they're anti-cows, and that's a concern. So perhaps just one cow. And if you get the duple, if the duple cows are still there, then you'll have just one less duple cow.
I mean, if there were duple cows, yes, I would be able to. I'd be more than willing to handle those off. But I can't offer you one of my cows. This is my livelihood. The cheese is several years old. It will sell for a good coin in the market.
They're dairy cows, you said.
Yeah.
So how about this cheese, and then maybe some future cheese also. That
I think we can speak to that. Yes.
A second wheel in 3 months, a year, and a duple cow if one such still is there, or a duple cow, or a duple cow.
But a cheese to be named later in a year. That seems fine. Yes.
Or a duple cow, but we don't know what the duple cows are.
Fair enough. This is, yes.
And I mutter, and it may just be a duple. I cough.
Well, how should we proceed then, good wise fellows?
Probably to visit the farm, right?
Let's gather our stuff, and then we can follow you back.
Oh, all right then. I'll wait out in the common room. And you will gather your things together and follow him out. And it's after lunch. He's waited. He's been respectful and made sure that everyone has eaten before he came on business. That kind of thing. You don't do business in the morning, because he might interrupt second breakfast or early lunch. So you three will head out, and he will walk you to his little farm area to the northish part of town, and you will arrive at a very modest little farmstead here. Essentially, like many of the dairy farmers and things like that, they graze on the commons, and then they come back here, and he will bring you in. Has a very small little barn, and these are modest cows. I imagine halflings have almost like miniatures in some ways, and we'll bring you into the barn, and there are 3 cows in the barn.
So Rory, how about you show us the difference in how you can tell that these aren't right?
Oh yeah. Well, come over here to Flossie. And Flossie always had a glint in her eye, like she was always smirking at some joke that no one had told. So I could always tell that in the morning. You'd see her, and she'd neigh a little, and you'd see that. And while this cow, it looks like Flossie, but there's a sadness in those eyes. See? And it looks like a cow to you.
Have you tried telling her a joke? Maybe she's just sad from wherever she went.
well, cows don't understand halfling speeches. I know that there are halflings that can speak with cows, but there are none in the village right now. I understand there was a gentleman who could speak with cats. And the sheriff told me that maybe I should have them come and talk to the cows, but I explained to the sheriff that cows and cats are not the same thing and do not share a common language, and therefore this person would not be of any assistance. That is perhaps off the topic, but which is to say, see?
Well, I will admit that I do not know your Flossie quite so well as you, so I hardly have a comparison to this much more, let's say, depressed gal than the more lively you had before. But and I'm going to kind of be trying to look around the barn, checking out the three, checking out the stalls.
So let us have you. I'm going to give you some info, but I think what do you think is appropriate for you kind of reading the scene, reading the situation here?
Just probably my base one. I don't think I have much that helps there.
Are you invoking your pipeweed? Is it assisting you in any way?
I'm certainly taking a puff or two.
Well, then, if you wish, you may roll a base die and the dream die.
I suppose I will. Yes. I need to pull up the die roller. There you are. Boop. Alrighty. So 2 dice, one of which is the dream die. The dream die is highest, and it's a 5.
So now, roll the dream die again. And what is your dream currently?
3.
So if you roll a 4, 5, or 6, your dream will go up by 1.
I rolled a 5 again, so it shall.
So now your dream is at 4.
It is.
And I think that you will see what is clearly Farmer Rory's kids, like sitting on the fences out there, kind of watching, like seated, like they're very laconic. Essentially, they've got a bit of straw in their mouth and they're kind of chewing on that as they're watching you. The other thing you'll see is what seems to be the barn cat has been, like, you just now notice them and you see them run off.
Like the cat notices them and they run from the cat.
No, notices you looking around.
Oh.
Skulks out and takes off.
The cat does?
Yeah.
He might should have tried to contact the person who talks to the cat. Curious.
Does that seem like so there's some bits there that you're uncertain about?
Yeah.
Okay. I will also say that you with your pipe smoke, it does open you up a little bit to the strangeness of the world. And there is that bit when you take a hit and you kind of lean in and look at this cow and you're like, yeah, there's something weird here. You're not sure what, but something's weird. What about you, good Sir Brink Bulk?
So I think I walk where the cows were Flossie,
Bessie, and Kurt.
So I walk over to Bessie.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know anything about cows, but I start kind of like poking her and prodding, and I do like a vote. Open up her mouth to see her teeth. I hold up and I look in her eyes, and I'm like, how is Bessie different?
Oh, well, Bessie had a certain playful mischievousness to her, a real prankster, as it were, in the cow world. Had to watch out for her. But now, no, none of that. Just no real glint there.
Here's what I think. Here's what I think we should do.
Oh, yes, please.
So
go
I think.
on.
Have you ever given Bessie just a puff of smoke?
No, I have not done such a thing.
No, I wouldn't do that either.
Pipeweed is a strong and carefully managed substance. I mean, myself, I only partake in the most basic of the tobacco, but as I can tell from the fumes emanating from each of you, you are working with some of the higher brands, as it were.
Why don't we try opening up her stall and seeing where she might wander to? Will she wander to the places that Bessie loved? Or will she perhaps lead us to either the place where actual Bessie was, or maybe just a place where we can see more Duple cows and figure out where they came from?
Oh, that is a thing. That's a very good idea. Yes. All right, then. He steps back and he opens the stall. And
but we want to make sure we don't lose her. She doesn't run away too fast. So
it is a cow.
Cows can run fast. Have you up past Irisfield? I've heard tell of the elves and humans riding cows and the rodeos
those are Sindar bovine. They're a whole different thing.
So I don't have to worry about that.
No, they have rainbow milk, that kind of thing.
Oh, is it good? Rainbow cheese?
No, because it comes out a little bit with a hint of strawberry, and that does not do well for the cheese.
Well, all right then. Anyway, so yes, so yeah, I guess that's where we're gonna go from there.
Okay. So how are you in conducting this investigation then, Bark? What is your appropriate talents for trying to have this draw out some info for you?
Well, so I mean, I'm really sort of leaving. I mean, I'm taking a puff of my my old skunk for sure.
Okay.
On the off chance that there's some wild creature along the journey that might put me at risk, which is not going to help me get any more dice, but it's just just in case.
Yeah.
I wanted to try and make the plan more complicated, but I don't really have a better way to do that. So I think it's just one for my pipeweed and one for old Bessie. See where she goes.
Let's have you roll that then.
Reroll selected. That is a 6 and a 1, and the 6 is not the dream die.
That is a most auspicious roll. So yeah, you will hit the cow full in the face with this pipeweed, and the barn door, and the stall door is open, and it kind of starts moving, and of course it can't see you now, so you have to kind of quickly step out of the way of it.
It qualifies as a wild beast?
It qualifies as an animal.
I thought it was just wild beasts.
I think it from my reading of it.
Excellent. I'm
wild beasts and plants. Yes, you're in to it. Intelligent beasts would be, I would say, cats, dogs, things like that.
Got it. All right. I'm perfectly happy to be. I did not anticipate that, but I am pleased with the result.
Dragons, mimics, that sort of thing. So you will see the cows kind of it goes out, and you see it get out into the yard, and you will see it see the farmer's kids, and it runs across the yard at the kids, and the kids with a slowness and deliberation just hop off the fence and stand on the other side as this thing goes and then stares at them.
thinking we should maybe talk to those kids.
Sally.
Yeah.
Let's come to you.
Yeah.
You've seen this go on. Bulk has provided you an avenue of investigation. What do you want to do?
So I think it's time to go talk to the kids. And I think I'm going to approach them and ask them about the chores that they normally do here around the farm. Because they seem to be, fascinated with watching us. I'm curious if they have other work that they normally do.
So you'll go up, walk up to them. It's a pair of them that have hopped back here, and they kind of look at you as you approach. They are, when I say kids, they are gangly young teen hobbits, and they look at you as you approach.
So, what exactly have you seen around here having to do with the cows? Because I know that you have chores. I mean, do you take care of the cows from time to time?
They look at each other. From time to time. Yeah.
And were you taking care of them the other night whenever they disappeared?
No, sir. I can certainly say with some honesty that I was not.
Who was?
Well, my father put them away, of course.
And do you have any idea where they might have gone prior to that? I mean, did they go out?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Will you show me?
Sure. And he points to the yard. The other one laughs.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is that they never go outside of the yard?
Oh, they go to the commons, sir. It's a lovely place. Good clover, lovely fields. The sunlight hits down. It's warm on their backs. That kind of thing.
Will you show me?
It's right there, sir. You know where the
go.
commons are.
Well, let's go.
I think, milady, that you know where the commons are.
Oh, I do, but I would like for you to accompany me.
And they will look at each other, and they will amble in that sort of absolutely, we're going to take this as slow as possible, we don't care kind of way with you over to the commons.
And there's two of them?
Yep, they're a pair of them. Bulk or Milo, are you going with?
Yeah.
Okay. And they'll walk with you over to the commons.
And I'll say, and they normally eat right here, the cows?
Well, their favorite spot, and they'll point to a spot on the other side of the field where there's some better clover that's growing over there.
And is there a watering hole that they drink from?
Absolutely. Right there. Little pond.
Which one do they like?
Well, there's just the one.
Okay.
It's right there.
So let's go on over there, and I'll check out and see, do we see hoof prints and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, this is where most of the farmers will bring their beasts out onto the commons here.
Okay. Are there any here now?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's probably a couple of animals out here.
Okay. And farmers accompanying them?
Yeah. You will actually see people are kind of giving wide berth, but you see that old Magister Nevins is here with his most unpleasant donkey. The vicious donkey apparently has returned, and he is walking it around and about. He's notable for doing that.
So if I'm not mistaken, Milo, you sensed something wrong with the cows. Is that right?
I did, but I'm hanging back with Rory.
Okay. So I think I'm gonna walk up So the donkey's mean. And are there any other cows other than the donkey, or
Yeah,
any other?
there are probably a couple of sheep, some goats, things like that. Commons is pretty large.
Okay.
It's a commonly held area.
So I think I'm going to walk up to one of the other cows. I'm going to start with the cows.
Mhm.
I'm going to look deep in their eye and see if anything strikes my fancy. And whenever I can't get anything from the cows,
Maybe want to change the phrasing on that.
right.
Okay, but go on.
If I don't get anything from the cows, then I'll move on to the sheep.
Okay.
And the goats, and I'll,
I'm gonna. What do you think is your appropriate thing for this? Besides your basic die, are you drinking deep of the smoke from your pipe to boost and expand your knowledge and perceptions?
Yeah, sure I am. Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's a die and a dream die.
Okay, and the dream die is the green one, and I got a 5, not on the dream die.
And I think you will move around. These kids are kind of watching you go up and look at these animals, and they're giggling to themselves, and they fall back about this. And I think that you will get over by old Magister Nevins, and before we realize it, you are very close to the back hooves of his death mule, and it does not kick you.
And I think what we see on camera is Sally kind of, looking the other direction, maybe at a sheep that's kind of wandered in this direction. And then all of a sudden, Sally perks up, sees the rear end, and starts to move and realize, oh, and you see, the shot from the front of the donkey, and Sally's head kind of pops around and looks and then comes back. And I'm going to go talk to who's the magistrate? The old
Magister
magistrate?
Nevins. He calls himself Magister.
Him.
He had a position years ago. He has kept the title since he was fired. So he will look at you and he will say, good day to you, Lady Nimbleheart. How are you, oh beauteous singer of songs?
I'm doing well. I'm in the middle of some business. Can you tell me a little bit about your old mule here? It seems out of sorts.
No, quite the contrary. My beast has had an ill temper for years, and I've always enjoyed and had a little bit of fun with that, but people have always complained about it. But it went missing, and I was feared that someone had stolen off with it, perhaps in repayment for a swift kick to the face. But it returned the next day, and since then it has been sweet-tempered and gentle.
When did this happen?
Oh, a few days ago. 3 days ago.
3 days ago. And
yes.
Was it during the day or in the middle of the night?
When I got up in the morning, the mule was gone, and it returned the next day. I found it in the yard. I was very pleased with this, and it has eaten carrots without complaint. It has not kicked at anyone. It has not tried to bite the fingers of the hands that very much feed it.
And I think I swing around and I stare deeply into the eyes of the mule and then turn back to the magistrate.
It looks at you with resignation.
I say, what's your mule's name?
Mule.
Mule? You look like you know something. Show me the truth. And after a long pause and giggling from the boys in the background, I then turn back to the magister. I say, so, a few days ago your mule disappeared and then came back and seems to have been, its spirit's been broken.
Broken? No, it has been tamed, good lady. Sweet, sweet lady with a lovely voice. See, and I've been able to brush it, clean the burrs out of its fur. I treat such animals with care and respect as befits a man of my station. A bachelor. Just putting that out there.
Don't you miss your old mule?
But there was a certain joy to knowing that no one would mess with the mule with its cantankerous nature, but its sweet nature here seems to echo my own sweet nature now.
I see. Has on the day that the mule went missing, did anything else go missing?
No, not that I can think of.
Do you think someone stole your mule for a little while and then brought it back? How else could you explain it?
I assumed there was some tomfoolery and someone let it out as a means of causing me some pain. And then the mule went out and wandered the world on its own and learned a life lesson and returned a wiser, more polite mule.
And I think whenever he uses the term tomfoolery, Sally's piercing gaze goes back to the boys. They giggle, and then he goes back. Yeah.
He says, I thought that it might have been the same thing that happened to Empress.
Who is Empress?
Oh, the prize pig. You've not heard of this?
No.
Empress is the greatest of all swine in our fine Iris Fields village. I heard that its owner lost it for a little while, and when it returned, it is not eaten since.
Oh no.
Well, when will you be playing next at the tavern?
That all depends on the coin that they have. Do you think
do you give private performances? I might be having a small soiree, and I might need to hire entertainment.
Oh, and how much do you pay?
And he names what is an incredibly chintzy figure.
Well, I'll have to look through my list of engagements and see when exactly I can meet and fit that in. But I'll be in touch.
Okay. Then let us do that then.
And I kind of eye the boys, still giggling. Then I think I walk back towards the farm. So Brink, did you come?
Those two have been kind of hanging back. We'll assume that the three of you can speak now if you wish.
And of course, I'll tell them all about Empress and the mule.
Brink, you were with Sally,
yeah,
right?
I was there.
Yeah, because I want to catch Rory a minute before everybody gets back.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
Farmer Rory.
Yes.
Two stout lads you have there.
Oh no. Yeah, yes. I actually have four.
Congratulations.
But, the other two are a little bit younger.
Well, that's the way of things.
That is when they are born at different times. One is older and one is younger. It's much like with cows.
Yes, but they sometimes have two, don't they now?
Yes.
They help about the farm.
Oh yes, they help. Though they've gotten to that age where they don't. I mean, they do what they're told, but they don't share much with their old man.
Solid thrashings, I hear, are quite good. But now remind me, just real quick. The cat came up, saw me, or saw the boys and ran
saw
off?
You.
Saw me and ran off. Okay.
Yeah.
And I noticed you also had an old Tom wandering around the farm here, a cat.
Oh, yes, Dr. Bullion.
Oh, lovely name. Educated then, eh?
No, we just call him Dr. Bullion. I don't think it's a trained cat in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, and not very friendly, though.
Oh no, he's a good cat though. I haven't seen him about much. He's been a little standoffish. But cats get that way.
They do. They do. Was he previously not as standoffish, though?
Oh no, he liked a little scritch under the chin, that sort of thing.
Have you noticed that he perhaps was more standoffish in the last few days? Say about the time the cows went to wandering?
Now that you put it that way, it does seem he might be a little more temperamental since then. He wasn't around actually when I didn't even see him when the cows were gone.
Do you have any other livestock by chance, Farmer
Nope,
Rory?
just the 3 cows and the cat.
Yeah. I fully believe you, sir.
What? Oh, this is a joyous thing to hear that you're not calling me a kook or a crank or ruder names even than that.
You came to the wise fellows and wisdom you have received. I have seen that you are correct. This is not an appropriate cow.
I cannot tell you how that does my spirit good.
Well, I'm afraid I'm going to give you some rather bad news to follow it. I fear you also have a copy kitty.
What?
I do not believe your cat is your cat.
Gasp.
Yes, indeed.
So, who would, what would, how?
I think we are perhaps looking at a far larger thing than simple cattle rustling.
I do think that as you said, copy kitty, the other 2 have returned back.
Yes. I believe that Farmer Rory's entire stock of animals have been duplicated.
I'm afraid to report that I don't believe it's just Farmer Rory.
Gasp!
The magistrate's angry mule is now calm.
Magistrate Nevins, Farmer Rory says, that is foul donkey.
He is now. The donkey is the sweetest thing. It didn't even try to kick or bite me.
That can't be the same mule.
That's what I said. So it's not just Farmer Rory.
Do we know of any other animals in particular that have exhibited strange things?
The magistrate mentioned the pig empress.
Oh, I've heard losing weight terribly.
Yes.
Losing weight terribly, oh my. This could be an entire village-wide animal duplication ring. As you hear about, of course, in large cities.
You mute, Jesse.
Where are they putting the originals?
Oh, and there is the rub.
What if they're taking them to market to sell?
And who knows what will occur with these duplicate animals? Some.
Farmer Rory says, well, begging your pardon, they would have to take him to a market far away. People know our beasts around here, and trying to sell a hot cow on the open market, it would have to be like a black cow market.
Well, but none of your cows are black.
Oh, I meant that the market itself was black, but the cows themselves would be white and dappled.
That makes more sense.
Well, yes.
Well. if this is so widespread, one would have to think that, nearly any animal at all has the potential threat of being duplicated in such fashion.
Is it only animals?
Ooh. I don't know, as I start staring at you very carefully.
I look back at you. I look at Sally. I look at Farmer Rory. I look over at, are the kids still there, or did they leave?
They've wandered off at this point.
All right. And so, yeah, I say, well, I know I'm not a duple me.
Prove it.
Do you know you're not a duple you?
I'm pretty certain I'm not a duple me.
Do you,
Sally?
I'm not a duple Sally either. Show me
Rory?
your dice. Show me your dice. Yes. Oh, yep, that's Brink. Yep.
Do I hear the voices coming from the dice?
Oh yeah.
Yes, that's Brink.
Maybe that makes me think. Maybe Gran can see something.
Ooh, yes.
Can tell what's up with these duples. Are they saying anything to you? You can hear them, right?
Yes.
Do you want to try and make a chat test on that?
I think this is like a cooperative. Like we both roll.
Yeah,
Sure.
I think
that's kind of how helping works in this game, anyway, right?
Yeah, you'll roll your base plus a die for your item, the Brink, and then you can roll your base plus a dream die, Tyler.
For the weed, all right?
Yeah.
And
that gives you 4 dice. That's a decent shot.
6 on my dream die.
I don't think you had to roll a dream die.
Oh, I didn't.
So a 6 on a not dream die.
Yeah, you can keep that as a regular die.
All right.
And what did you roll, Tyler?
4s across the board.
Okay. So I think that the grandmother will say, wait and watch. Wait and watch. They come at night.
And all of a sudden, Saley shrieks, and she reaches into her pockets and pulls out Darling Dank the rat. And she looks deep into his eyes and pokes a little bit. And I kind of see this as sort of like a what's the right word? Debug session where it's like, now do your little trick. Oh yeah, you never knew that one anyway. Okay, that's good.
You run your full set of processes on it. You will run a test on it, and your rat comes back clean.
Yeah.
Your grandmama suggests that we wait, that we watch, and that we be here at night. I would propose a bit of subterfuge. There is only the 4 of us, Mr. Rory being here as well.
Yay.
Perhaps Mr. Rory could inform the neighborhood that he has procured a 4th cow. And we, through the art of acting, could pose as said cow.
Oh, it sounds too simple. Maybe.
Of course it does.
I think we need more than just acting. I think what we maybe need is some costuming as well. Maybe I should shave a cow, and we can glue the no. Yes.
Pardon me, sir, but as I understand it, you're Mr. Milo is a man of the theater, and I remember a production a few years ago, "The Silence of the Cows," that had a pantomime cow outfit or two that were in and amongst the props. I know that a couple of years ago, actually, some goblins stole one of the costumes and attempted to use them to conceal themselves from their cattle rustling. But as I understand, there's still at least one set of pantomime cow outfits there.
So there, we could do that. See, costuming and acting.
I think you, sir, have a very fair point.
Well, I will go and tell the neighborhood that I have procured a fourth cow of outstanding stock.
With our help, of course.
With your help, I will say that the wise fellows were instrumental in finding me a fourth cow. I will go door to door and tell people.
And maybe bring us some repast as we wait here.
I will certainly. I'll tell my wife to bring out a supper for you. Then, if you don't mind, or if you could come in, if you sit in the kitchen with her, and she'll give you the food that you most rightly deserve.
Sounds like it's going to be an all-night job, but I think we can take a break to go in and partake.
Oh, okay. Well, then let us do this thing. Let's take our 5-minute break here, and when we return, you will be in a cow costume.
stellar mystery, Lowell. This is good fun.
This is the stuff. Also, I was going to save it, but I'm just going to tell you. I love Rory's hat fiddling. It's just like a perfect touch. It is one. It was, especially at the beginning, it was just wonderful.
You are, we cut forward to after a somewhat rapturous dinner. You have the sense that the wife is relieved, not that she believes her husband in any way, shape, or form, but that someone seems to be calming him down from his latest insanity, and that seems to put her in good spirits. And so there are chestnuts that are provided, and roasted apples, and fresh greens, and salad, and a little bit of mutton that had been stored away, spiced up for you, and of course, a little bit of ale, and then a mead, and then a cider. The several parts of a halfling dinner. What is Sally's favorite part of this meal?
Sally's favorite part is the cheese that's served alongside everything, because it has such a unique flavor that makes it stand out. I've had all the rest of this before, and after some period of time with the fine brandy, the cider and the ale pale a little bit, but the cheese puts this twang onto the edge of everything that's just unique.
Absolutely. And you maybe perhaps ask, and Farmer Roy will say, well, there is a little bit of a trade secret there that I don't particularly want to necessarily give away. And what about for Brink? What's his current perception of the situation, or perception of this fine meal?
He has no idea what's happening in this situation, but he's very much enjoying the mutton. It's just mutton is hard to prepare, and Brink is extremely lazy. So very rarely does he get to enjoy such fine, like, well cooked, tender, not at all chewy, but wonderfully fatty mutton.
And let me ask you this. This is a question I have sort of generally about hobbits, halflings versus goblins in this. Is goblin cuisine pretty much the same as halfling cuisine, or are there differences?
So I was actually thinking about this, believe it or not.
I know this is a good thing to think about.
I was pulling up this map because I just wanted, and thinking about the sort of like the iris fields as opposed to the golden fields marsh, right? And like, I think actually goblin cuisine tends to be more sort of like mutton and lamb, like it's a little bit more in the highlands, right? Whereas the down in sort of the lowlands and along the river valley, there's beef, pork, like in as much as they eat meat. I think there's also like they have more kind of like a wheat bread, and we tend bread flour type based things. We tend to do more preparations of like grain that's sort of like boiled and not ground, not made from flour.
Okay.
So dumplings would be like a rare treat for me.
Okay. So like barley, rye, the
yeah,
grains
exactly.
more...
Even like the occasional, like if wheat is brought up from the valley and not grounded to flour, like we'll prepare that in the same way, like buckwheat or whatever.
Okay. I like the sound of that. And what is your take on what is happening here, Milo, and your take on the general situation?
Well, I think that I have been enjoying the meal and especially enjoying the drink, and have probably been taking a few nips off of the old tear of the princess from my flask. And so the younger children are probably getting regaled with my stories as I am really just like a long lost uncle here. And oh, madam, and I'm coming over and patting her on the back. This is just delicious. And oh, you children, and chasing them around as the dragon sort of things. And yeah, I imagine I'm making a bit of a spectacle of myself.
And absolutely, you will. This is a good thing. You entertain the kids. You draw the pleasures out of that. But eventually, the time will come, and there is a hard decision that has to be made at this point amongst you all. There is a front end and a back end to this costume. It is in two parts, which means both the question of who will not be in the costume, but also who is the ass end of the cow.
Sally does not partake in the cow. She's sneaky and she hides around. She sets Darling Dank out in the barn to kind of skulk around, and she slides back into the shadows, ready to ambush anyone who comes after cow number 4.
Now, Milo, I know you are a skilled actor, but what do you say we roll dice for this?
Very well, sir. I am an actor of such quality I could play either end, but I am willing to dice you for the, shall we say, lead role.
And so I pull out my dice. How do we want to play this?
I think there's a mechanic for it.
Oh, there is.
You're muted, my dear Lowell.
There are opposed roles in
Yes.
this game.
Competing. Everyone rolls their dice. Highest wins. On a tie, these folks may dream harder if they rolled their dream die.
Well, I can tell you, I very much do not want to be the back of the cow. I'm a compulsive gambler and I am smoking my pipe. So does that get me up to 3?
That'll get you the 3 dice. And what about for you, Milo?
I think both my Talks Loudly doing Playhouse performances and actor would equate to 1, and being a hobbit, and I don't think I'm bringing in the dream to this.
So 2 regular dice for you.
Mm-hmm.
2 regular dice for Brink with the dream die. Let's see it.
Go ahead, Brink.
I could tell you I've just rolled them. So I've rolled a 6 on the dream die and 5 on the highest regular die. So my dream is going. I need to roll dream.
Well,
yep.
I rolled a 6 as well. So dreaming harder.
Okay, so let's start with, if we have to roll the dream die for that first thing first. So Brink, roll to see if your a dream goes up first.
It's roll above or below for it to go up.
If you roll above it, right? Let me see.
Yeah, I think that's
believe
right.
so, yes.
Yeah.
Right. My dream went up to 4.
Okay. And now both of you can re-roll your dream dice. We'll compare those. And we'll also, I believe, to dream harder, and roll the dream die again. But you can't do that if the dream die was the highest you rolled.
So I cannot do that again.
Was the dream die the highest that you rolled?
It was.
And what about for you, Tyler?
I thought your dream die was a 4.
No, my dream die was a 6. It was a 4 when I rolled.
Gotcha. I didn't roll a dream die last time.
Oh, so you may roll a dream die if you wish to push it, or you can let it go.
I'll let it go. I like my 6 on the dream die, or that I have.
It's a 6 on the regular die, a 6 on the dream die. That is effectively a tie. let's see what it says about ties here.
It says if you tie, you can dream harder.
Dream harder. But we also can't dream harder if it's the highest.
I suppose that means that if he wishes, he could roll with a dream harder, and he would automatically win because I happen to die to roll.
Right. I suspect that's probably what it is.
Yeah, that seems fair. Do you wish to try that?
And potentially you could then gain another dream because of having rolled higher.
Well, no, because I don't think you can on dream harder. Right. I think the whole thing about I'm fine saying that.
True.
I think so. This is a good note on the game. This is
Yes.
but I'm also just fine saying it's left unresolved by the roll. We have tied, and we have to come up with another solution to the problem.
Yeah, I think you have tied and have to find another way around this.
I think I'm willing to concede on this one. I think with your dream die, but more importantly, from a personality standpoint, I think I'm willing to concede because I think that as a grand actor, I can manage the hindquarters. However, I feel that the only best appropriate way to do this is we should be looking from both sides.
Of course.
And so I'm going to use my makeup kit to make the appropriate other end of the cow.
All right. So I think that is definitely a roll to pull this off.
All right.
Let's start with you, Tyler.
All right. I'm going
That's
to...
definitely at least 2 dice for base, and if you're using your dream die, I think that is more than reasonable.
I think I am using my dream die to get fully into character. And I got a 6 on both my dream die and another die.
Well, then you will be, let's see, if it is the highest, dream die, and it is higher than any other die. So it's equal, so you don't roll a dream die.
Good job.
So you will get this we cut back to this costume. We have essentially the push me pull you cow here with Brink at the front and you at the back, and you are carefully watching Sally. That is correct?
Yes, I am sneaking around from shadow to shadow.
Okay.
And I'm hiding. I might even climb up into the loft.
Okay. And you will see after a bit a cat and a chicken walking side by side, kind of moving quietly, and you see them move up and they kind of peer, and there's a bit where you hear the chicken like meow, 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 meow. And then you will hear in the distance like the sound of like a shutters being opened. And then after a couple minutes, you will see those 2 boys come around. They kind of come up and they stop, and the cat turns to them and goes meow, 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 meow. And they nod, and they head into the barn. And the other cows, kind of look like they're going to make some noise, but the boys look at them and point at them as if to say, don't say anything. And they say nothing. No moos. And the boys come over and open the stall with the pantomime cow. And they will get the harness around it, and they will lead it out.
So I want to talk to the others. my plan and what I stated earlier was that I would ambush anyone who came in. Is that the plan? Or do you want us to not talk about it and see where things go? Oh, you're on mute.
Muted.
I think that was the plan, but at the same time, I think you're the one with the true vantage point of the animal control there more than us in a stall. So you probably have more information than we do, that this is not as it seems.
I think everything's fine. The boys are suspicious until they, put the harness on the fourth cow and start to take it out. And I think as they get to the doorway, that's whenever I'm going to pounce.
Okay. Then let us. What do you think is appropriate for this ambush roll here?
So a die for being Sally.
Yeah.
I think a die for smuggler.
I mean, this plan is overcomplicated for sure. I don't know if you.
So
the other two of us. Oh, sorry. I would like to help out if I can.
Bursting forth from the cow costume.
I think just being there in the cow costume is the help, right? That we're the.
That seems fair. You can
lore.
absolutely do that. Let's and if you now you can't use a dream die because you're not smoking in the cow.
Correct. One
and
for being
Sally,
a hobbit.
I don't think if you're trying to hide, I don't think. Well, no, you have the smoke that allows you to hide, right?
No, the smoke allows me to climb. I have the power word that lets me hide.
Are you using that?
Well, I can't have 3 dice without smoking, correct?
Without smoking or using the power word.
So I think I will smoke and use the power word and get 1 for being Sally.
Okay.
Does that sound right?
It'll be essentially 2 regular dice and a dream die.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to roll. And my highest is a 3, not the dream die.
Okay. And Brink?
My highest is a 5.
Your highest is a 5. So I think that you will jump down, Sally. And I think this seemed like a better plan in your mind and more dramatic. But maybe you misjudged the distance. And I do think you land on the cow.
Oh.
And split the cow in half, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that the front half, Brink, you will slam into these boys. And you will knock one of them down. But the other one takes off. And you hear, and you see a chicken and a cat take off. And like the boy and the chicken and cat all ran off.
You're a cow, aren't you?
What'd you say?
I said you're a cow, aren't you?
Moo! No!
Are you Flossie? Are you Bessie? Are you Kurt?
I won't say a word now. Moo.
So as soon as I see them, I'm gonna run off.
I'm gonna check. Let me check in with our good actor whose costume has been disabled by this. What do you do?
I think that I also am probably going to be chasing after Cat and Chicken, because I'd seen Cat run before, had my suspicions, and when this sudden bisection occurs in our character, I will hustle forth, chasing primarily after the cat.
So would you say this cow is bisectional?
I would, yes.
All right.
Yes.
So I think we can do this as a cooperative chase, the two of you working together to do this. So what do you think is appropriate for your dice during this chase, Milo?
Well, me is me, and this has been a very overcomplicated plan. I mean, this is the fruition of it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you using a word of power, or lighting your pipe as you do this?
I probably am, just almost second nature pulling the pipe out.
As you're running.
A little inspiration. I think the old bitter bark is coming up.
Okay. And what about you, Sally?
So I think I get a die for being Sally.
Yep.
I'm going to take a die from Scullery Worker.
Yeah.
And the way that this works is because I had to dodge many a spoon as, the matron came after me in the kitchen. So I learned how to dodge and run around, and I'm also going to be smoking my mellow finch.
Okay. So let's have both of you roll 2 dice plus your dream die.
I have a 6 not on my dream die.
Okay.
I also have a 6 not on my dream die.
Bravo.
Then I think that one of you gets this cat by the scruff and lifts it up, and one of you gets this chicken by the neck and lifts it up. The other boy has run off, but you have these two miscreants clutched in hand. And you can return back. So Brink, you've coaxed a confession of sorts out of this boy. When the other two return back, chicken and cat in hand.
I have the feline felon right here.
You're muted.
Yeah, I think this is maybe Bessie or Flossie.
What, the boy?
Yeah, I don't think it's Kurt.
This is a cow.
I think this is a cow.
I'll look at the cat, who probably is squirming. Does that make you a boy?
Might be a cow also, or a mule. Could be a mule.
Or a pig.
Excuse me. Yeah, it could be a pig.
It goes, meow.
You're not fooling me at all.
Fooling me a little. I still don't know which one it is, but it's not what it looks like.
And it clams up,
I think we need Rory to take a look. He's got an eye. He could recognize his cows.
So one of you will wake up. Farmer Rory, he'll come down, and he comes down in his nightshirt, his nightcap. He's still got his hat clutched when he comes down, and he's like, was one of my boys playing at the tomfoolery with you?
Let's talk about the cat and the chicken first.
Oh, yeah, that's Dr. Bullion. Don't know this chicken, though.
Look close into Dr. Bullion's eyes.
Do you see maybe a wink of mischief that's familiar?
No.
Maybe like he's telling you a joke.
No, I can't say as that's a thing. Good sir.
Maybe
Though it doesn't. It seems more recalcitrant than Dr. Bullion usually is, but it may be that a stranger has him by the scruff of the neck.
Alec pulls him down and be giving tummy rubbings to try and placate him.
Purr.
What an angry purr.
But I don't recognize. Yeah. Ooh, sorry. But Oh, can I ask why you have my son pinned to the ground in half a cow costume?
Let's look at the chicken next. What do you think of this chicken? Look deep into the chicken's eyes. I kind of shake the chicken a little bit. I angle that one eye so it looks right at the farmer.
When you shake the chicken says, "Unhand me, my master's wrath will be awesome if you do not."
Oh.
Mark. Rory goes, "I do not know that chicken." And he steps back.
What about the boy?
The boy's like, "Ugh," like is like reaching for the chicken, like it's gonna try and shut that chicken up. And the cat's like, "Shut up, you fool." Meow.
Recognize that voice, Rory?
No, I've never heard that voice before.
So maybe they're not cows.
But the boy. You seemed certain that the boy was a cow. Rory, look at the boy.
And he goes over, and he stands over where Brink has him down, and he will look his son in the eye. Flossie. How could you? And where's my son? And there's, hey, I don't understand. And the cow clams up.
Cowboy.
And I turn to Rory, and then I turn back to the other two, and I say, "It's a cowspiracy."
God, I love you. The jig is up, cat. We've discovered what's going on. This master of yours clearly has ill designs. You might as well tell us what's going on, or it's no more nip for you, my friend.
You hold the cat up. You all look sternly at it. You look at the chicken. The chicken is looking, and I think it's probably the chicken that will crack first. So, what? Maybe we could talk privately. Put the cat down. Talk to me. The cat's like, "No, you don't." The cat seems like furious that the chicken's going to turn traitor.
Is there a convenient box or barrel for me to put the cat in? All right, chicken, spill it.
So, my master is a little thing outside of town, little circus, and he's got a little used to be a wizard's familiar, but he got swapped with his master, and since then he's been on this whole animal liberation shtick. I used to be a farmhand, but I changed sides.
The problem is that some are more equal than others.
But that is what I've heard. When chickens are lowest on the pecking order,
I'll look to the other two. We have to return, I believe, the poor unfortunates to their bodies, right?
Those that want to go. I mean, do you want to be returned, farmhand chicken?
Well, that might be a little bit awkward at this point.
What has happened to your body, young man?
It might have drowned.
Ew.
Or chicken.
Yes, it turns out that chickens can't swim. A fact I was not aware of.
Can farmhands fly?
Not particularly well.
Oh.
Still getting used to this. My master keeps a set of pipes at his tower, circus tower, out in the marsh. It moves around. If you can get a hold of those pipes, you can reverse this enchantment.
You mean pipes like this one? And I pull out my long-stemmed pipe.
No, like piping pipes.
The not so good pipes, I understand.
You're quite musical, though, Sally. Surely you can play the pipe.
Oh, I'm sure. I will be able to figure out a tune or a ditty.
But wait. Rory, Farmer Rory.
Yes, he comes over. Yes.
So that's Flossie, which presumably means that one of those cows is probably your boy. I would think.
That's a good thing I didn't try to milk any of the cows.
Would you rather the boy be in the cow or the cow be in the boy, or the boy be in the boy and the cow be in the cow?
Well, I'd rather things be their usual way. That's my preference.
Oh.
Though I do say it has something to show about your connection to your cow vis-a-vis your boys.
Oh, that's a deep reading that I'm not sure I can do at this time of the morning.
It is nice, though, that you recognized your cow so readily.
Yes, I did not think they were so opposed to their lifestyle. I'll have to rethink my whole paradigm on things.
Well, wise fellows, it seems like a trip to the circus is in order.
They don't let you play. Well, is there a sideshow at this circus, chicken?
Oh, it's just a circus to lure the kids out.
Oh.
Surely a dog-faced boy.
I meant more games. Throw the ring on the bottle. Knock down the bottles with the ball.
I think there's just the chicken goes back. It's illusion and frippery and things to draw in the children.
We're gonna have to see some clowns, aren't we?
There are clowns.
Clowns.
An actor's nemesis?
I tell you, they're the mimes of the theater world.
So how do you want to do this? I'm assuming you will tie up the boy. And I
box
assume
the chicken.
You'll will box the chicken and keep the cat secured.
Sally, you're rather sneaksy when you need to be.
Of course. I can probably sneak in. Of course I can sneak in. And, I know my way around a wizard's tower. So I think that'll be fine. And Venerate Liar.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
And Brink, you're particularly well suited to not be noticed by animals, correct?
Oh yeah, no, they can't see me.
Well, and of course, I could play anything from 12 to 34 or 35, so I could certainly be a child. Can I get a lolly, sir? See? Quite good.
So then I'm hearing that Milo, you're going to change into your classic Little Lord Fauntleroy style children's
Golden
outfit.
carols and all.
Yes. And head out in the direction that the chicken has told you. It has scratched out a map for you. It's not very good, of course, but you will be able to find a path. And Brink and Sally, you are kind of following in behind.
Yes, puffing heavily on my pipe the whole way.
Okay.
And I'm
Sally,
going
you
to
going-
sneak.
Yeah, you going first or are you going behind?
Of course I'm going first. I know exactly where this is going to be.
Absolutely. Then let's, as you head out into these marsh, the little mist there. It's not the dangerous part of the marsh. It's just kind of stinky. But you will see, as indicated, that sort of the vision that you'd been told, that had been rumored around about this circus tent off in the distance. And you will move towards that. It's actually probably because there are some tracks of other kids and things that have come this way that makes it easier to find and follow. But there are watchers, so let's have you make a sneaking roll here.
So I'm going to take a ooh. I'm going to take a die for me and a die for power word Ozarish
Okay.
for blessing, stealth, and evasion. And I'm actually going to smoke and climb the trees and move from tree to tree.
Ooh, okay. Let's have you roll.
So I rolled a 5 on my dream die.
Okay. Then you will have to make a dream roll.
Okay. So my dream is currently 3.
Yep.
So I'm going to re-roll my dream die, and I got a 6.
So
now my dream is 4.
Dream is 4. So I think you will move up, kind of tree, move up through some of the, probably some of the willows and things like that you see, the kind of swamp grass trees and things you're moving through. And then you will come up and you will see kind of a haze. You see sort of the bright lights of a circus. And you can see there are a couple of Hobbit kids in there that are playing, maybe watching a puppet show. It looks like they're being provided with ginger beer and cigars. And you will also see that there is a tower in the center, kind of out of this sort of big top, this kind of wizard's tower thing there. And there are a couple of other Hobbit kids who are kind of standing around, like standing watch. They haven't seen you, but you probably at this point need to kind of figure out where you need to go next. A 5 kind of is a partial success here. That's how I'm saying, is can't quite get in. But I think we'll bring up Brink and Milo up at this point.
I am ostentatiously being a young chap.
Okay.
Heading up, looking excited, and oh, my, a circus! Oh, gracious, the candies and the animals and all the sorts of things young people love.
Let's have you make that acting roll to infiltrate.
All right. I don't think I'm dreaming on this one. This is purely skill. Oh, that's terrible skill. A 1 and a 3.
A 1 and a 3. So I think that you will come up, wander up, and get past these things. And it's at that point, once you kind of get in, you're looking around and stuff, that you are seized by both arms. And you will see Farmer Rory's other son there. And he pulls off your curls.
Oh, no, I need an adult.
And he says, moo ha ha. What are you up to, Brink?
I think I'm just kind of, my dream's kind of high. I'm not super aware of the world around me or getting close to that point. And I'm smoking my pipe and kind of strolling in, thinking they're all animals. They won't see me.
That is in fact the case. You will wander past these guards who seem not to see you at all. Sally, Brink, you will see these people lay hands on Milo, and they are pulling Milo in to the circus, clearly with nefarious intent.
Their intention seems to be to take Milo to someplace within the circus or someplace in the tower, or...
You're not sure. They're taking him deeper inside the tent.
Inside the tent, not towards the tower.
Well, the tower is sticking out of the middle of the tent, so...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's a thinly disguised tower.
Yes.
I see.
I'm actually... Anyways. So... I sort of whisper because I don't want to be heard. Right? So I whisper, "Wow, that's where we want to go anyway, right? They're just bringing him where we want to go."
And yeah, I think I'm going to do my best to sneak into the tent with them. Probably climbing from the top.
Yeah, you've got the tools to climb up and kind of get up there easily. So let's have you make that sneaking roll.
Okay. Let's see how that works. I got 5, 5, 4, and the 5 and the 5 are dreaming die and non-dreaming die.
Okay, so not higher. So are you more interested in getting into position or not being seen?
Ooh. I'm more interested in getting into position.
Okay. So yeah. I think that here is what we see, is we see this phantasmal wizard's tower. We see you being marched up these stairs, Milo, up, and you can tell that the tower isn't quite real. Like you can kind of see through it a little bit, but they're marching you up. And Brink, you're like, just trying not to bump into people, right? And you will come up to the top of this tower, and you will see there's Farmer Rory's son, and there are a couple of other, there's like a raccoon there, and like a wild boar, and they are kind of at the sides, and you will see that there is this gnome. You don't see gnomes very often. Gnomes are like hobbits, but with huge heads. It's like violist violinists kind of thing. But they got these big heads, and you can tell that it is some kind of gnomish. Maybe it used to be a sorcerer, but it has certainly, through whatever things, it definitely has a pungent tang to the smell of it, like a little beast smell to it. And as you are getting up into position, you guys, Sally, you will get up there and kind of find your way up and above. But I think that is the point at which something bites you. What is it that bites you?
I think it's the squirrel that I didn't see. That is the guard to this side of the tent.
Absolutely. There's a squirrel. It has leapt, squealing, and latched onto your ear. And it is bitten down with remarkable force upon your ear. And so right now you are kind of jangling back and forth at that high point on the tower that you have made your way up to. Brink, what are you doing? Couple of foes, a goblin ex-familiar sorcerer, Sally potentially falling off. What do you want to do?
How like imminent is Sally's fall?
Well, you are wise fellows, which means you're not particularly skilled at this. So at this moment, it is not imminent.
So I think what I do is I position myself behind the gnome and I whisper in a kind of spooky voice, "Hey, wanna play a game?"
Let's have you spook the gnome.
Oh, I'm not actually trying to spook the gnome. I want the gnome to play a game with me. But I want him to be like kind of creeped out, being like he doesn't know like there's something magical happening here.
Yeah, this is kind of getting his attention. So yeah, that seems fair. What do you think is the appropriate role for this here?
Well, I mean,
this is a little more overcomplicated.
Oh, there's certainly an overcomplicated plan here. And there's also, there's the fact that I'm invisible, the old skunk. I don't know if that gets me like a second, like what, obviously there's one dream die and then there's the one for me and then there's one for overcomplicated. So that's 3 anyway.
Yeah, you got 3 there.
Oh. 1, 1, and 2.
1, 1, and 2.
Fortunately, the 1 is the dream die. One of the ones is the dream die.
Do you want to dream harder?
Oh, yeah, I do want to dream harder. I forgot I could do that.
Reroll the dream die.
That's another 1.
Well, and I think because you rolled that, you have to roll for the dream here.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fun.
Let's have you roll that.
Sorry, there we go. Okay. That is a 4, which is tied.
Okay, so it does not go up. But I think, Brink, that you will see this gnome turns and you hear and your perspective shifts, Brink, and you will realize that you are in the body of a ferret.
Oh dear.
Let's come to Milo. You have been there. You've been pulled up here. You were about to be the object of their attentions when Sally drew their attention, and then something went wrong. Brink popped up behind them, and the gnome turned him into a ferret, and you see a ferret has flopped to the ground there.
And I'm being held by Farmer Boy and
and
something else.
Something else. What do you want to do?
I am going to try and wrench myself away from them. Unhand me as I approach the gnome and say, "Sir, you must release these people. This is most unseemly."
Let's have you roll to break free and get yourself in a position to get some kind of edge on the gnome. How are you doing that?
Well, I will have brought up my pipe, just right into hand,
Right.
And I am smoking on the bitter bark, which gives me you gain the fatal flaw of I'm invincible.
Then let us have you make that roll.
All right. I'll thrash this polecat down. Well, 5, 5, and 6, but the 6 is indeed on my dream die.
So let's have you roll to see if your dream goes up first.
All righty. It does not. I rolled a 1.
Okay. But with the 6, what is it you want to achieve? Is it that you want to get Brink to safety? Is it that you want to get these people off from holding you? Is it that you want to set Sally up? What is it, the big thing that you want to do here?
The big thing is to free myself from the two of them and sort of cow this guy, or at least take all attention to me on this guy, with the hope that Sally will have some sort of opportunity and we can figure out what to do with Brink. Yeah. But it's mainly directed all here.
With a 6, I think you can throw these off, and they'll fall down these phantasmal stairs a bit. And then you kind of shout, and Sally, who might have been the next target of this gnome, given that she popped up there, is going to get her opportunity to act before the gnome can strike. Sally, what do you do?
So
there's also a ferret somewhere in this scenario too, just saying.
I think with this squirrel biting down and I'm, knocking around, I think it's time for me to jump down from this perch that I'm at. Thank you. And let's see how good I fall/jump.
What is your intent with this?
So my intent is probably to knock down some of the people, specifically the gnome.
Okay.
See if I can't fly into the gnome like halflings do.
Let's have you make that roll.
Okay. So, I think I have 1 for being Sally, and I'm going to continue smoking. So I think that gives me good leverage because I can cling to walls with the Mellowfinch.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might be it.
Brink, are you assisting?
So this is actually like a real question.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of dice do I get?
Well, you get 1 for being a ferret.
Okay, good. So I'm gonna. Sure. Can I just be underfoot and in the way?
Yeah, that seems like a reasonable thing. I think we're still in the overcomplicated plan, so I'll give you 2 dice if you want.
Wonderful. I will take them. I cannot smoke, unfortunately, because my pipe
true.
is on my body, which is presumably possessed by a ferret.
Yes. Sally, what did you roll?
I rolled a 6 and a 3, and the 3 is on my dream die.
Okay.
A 1 and a 2.
1 and a 2. So you go nipping at their heels, Brink, but you're still getting used to this ferret body. And I think with that 6, I think you can knock this pipe, this flute, out of the gnome's hands, and now there is a general scrum of animals in human bodies, ferrets, gnomes, as this pipe goes sailing down the steps, which I think is probably the opportunity. Milo, are you more intent on getting the pipe, more intent on holding this gnome, keeping them from doing anything, or what? Brink, you want to say something?
I'll wait for Milo to make his call, and then I'll.
I think my intent is to hold back the tide so that Sally can get to the pipes. So I'm kind of, as they are moving in, I'm getting between and back you.
Okay, let's have you roll to hold them. Of course, the cost here is going to be harm because you're now up in the midst of actual serious fighting.
Yes, indeed.
There are fists and hooves flying.
I think the fatal flaw of I'm invincible seems appropriate here.
Absolutely.
And
what sort of magic are you bringing to bear?
My word of power.
Okay.
So I roll away. Fives. 5 being my dream, and I have 2 5s.
So you're fine.
Tied, yeah.
But I do think that you will hold them for a bit, but you are going to take harm, take a level of harm as they kind of pin you back, hold you down.
Then I will spend a dream to take no harm.
There you go. So your dream will go to
5.
5. I think the closest person is Brink, and then we're going to come to Sally. Brink, now you see that Milo is buried under this pile of bodies, holding him back. Sally is kind of getting to her feet to go. What do?
Mad dash for the pipe. Mad dash.
Okay. Let's have you roll 2 dice for a ferret.
2 dice?
Yeah, 1 for the ferret and 1 for just the craziness of their new body.
I will take it. Okay. That's a pair of 4s.
That is a pair of 4s. How do you get hurt?
I think that raccoon. I mean, raccoons are the worst.
Oh, they are the worst.
And I think what sort of happens is the raccoon is in between me and the pipe on the stairs there. And it like reaches out to grab me with its creepy all too human hand.
Yep.
And I managed to like swerve away, but the claw just like rakes across my shoulder. And it's probably gonna get infected. But hopefully it won't be in this body for that much longer. And I take however much harm for that.
Yeah, you're gonna take 1 harm, which you'll record on your thing. And are you taking the pipe to Sally? Is that your goal here?
Yes, my goal is to grab the pipe, and if you will, the next step is to get it to Sally. But if that's all 1 roll, I will take that as 1 roll.
Yeah, I think Sally, the now visibly injured ferret, comes loping, running as quick. There's a raccoon on its tail, literally, and it's got this pipe in its mouth.
So I'm going to grab the pipe.
Oh, it is covered in ferret spit.
It's been, I will sling it, but I've had worse in my mouth. It's fine. And then I'm going to turn to the ferret and go, because I heard this song before.
Then let's have you roll to see how well this works. I think you can. Your musician, the dancer, fiddle player is appropriate.
Okay.
Your basic is appropriate.
Okay.
And what magic or pipe are you using here?
The pipe wouldn't apply.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think compelling spiders to obey a command.
Right. No.
Yeah.
So let's have you roll 2 dice.
Okay.
Can I help?
Tell me how you're helping.
I think that as I'm being pushed back, and I've probably been pushed back into Ferret Brink, as the pipe is sent off and the tune begins to be played, and in my sombrous bassitone voice, I sort of give counter harmony to go along with.
I love it. What do you think you're rolling here?
I think I'm doing it. Talks loudly during playhouse performances.
I like it.
As I'm adding into someone else's performance. And I'm not bringing in magic at the point. Though I will ask something if I succeed.
Sure.
I'll roll to help first. I've got a 5.
And Sally?
I rolled a pair of 3s.
Rolled a pair of 3s.
And my ask, Lowell, is because I brought my word of power in last time and had a successful roll, is it simultaneous enough that as I fall back into Brink, I get to use my word of power to heal his harm?
I like that. Yeah.
Excellent.
And I think you will play that tune and you will hear the gnome go, no! And when you play it, there is this pop as the tower and the circus tent and everything vanishes. And there's this short fall to the ground. And we will see Sally, Milo, and Brink back in his body. And a bunch of livestock all kind of standing around, maybe a few kids in the middle of this marsh. And there's no gnome. There's no circus. There are no cigars. It's just all gone.
And Sally stands up from the fracas and says, I am the best magician amongst us all.
Oh, brava.
And we will cut to sometime later. Children have been returned back to their houses. Animals have been checked. The donkey is kicked. Magister and all those various things. We get a shot of Empress feeding at her trough. We see the cows back in their places. We see the children reunited with their families, upset. Some of them are getting boxed around the ears for having wandered out after dark. But mostly the families are just happy to have them back. We'll see Farmer Rory like, so I brought the cheese wheel as we agreed, and a cheese to be determined later, and I went around and I spoke with a number of the other farmers, including Empress's owner, and some of the others, and Magister Neelis, when he recovers, gets out of the hospital. But they all put together quite a substantial collection for you, and so I've got a significant wheelbarrow of cheeses and fruits and vegetables outside, including some very attractive leeks. They are out there for you as a reward for your efforts, good wise fellows.
Thank you, sir. And I'll say that we wise fellows found this a rather engaging, investigation, didn't we, there?
Little too engaging, if you ask me.
I
Poking through the wheelbarrow.
Poking through that. He also says, and he will hold out a little purse of coins towards you, Brink. I did gather some coinage as well. As you said, you wanted perhaps some monetary remuneration as well.
Oh, thank you, Farmer Rory. Oh, you know the way to my heart. It was just engaging enough.
Oh, good. Well, thank you all very much. Then, my boys will be by to do any errands that you might need for the next few weeks. And that is the shot of the wheelbarrow of you picking through that. Last words on screen here. Sally.
Yeah.
Milo.
Go ahead.
I see back at my hobbit hole. I would love to engage, unless you would like to do it, Sally. Our family move. You want to do it, or should I?
Oh, why don't you do it? That sounds fantastic.
All right. We have this huge bounty, and so as we're engaging and having this lovely meal made, I can see Sally, you accompanying me as I'm singing a song of homecoming and the beauty of the hearth as we have this fantastic meal. And I would like to engage the song of supper.
Absolutely. And I believe that just flat reduces your dream if you wish.
That's what my choice will be. Everybody gets to make a choice off of it. I will drop mine from 5 to 4.
What about you, Sally?
So I think I will also drop my dream, although I'm very tempted by some of the questing and become homesick stuff. It was like, ooh, that would be great. But yes.
And what about you, Brink?
Do goblins also get to make a choice?
Yeah. When the Hillfoot brings it for the company. Yep, and all listeners.
Ooh. I think I just fall into a deep sleep with my pipe sort of hanging loosely out of the corner of my mouth, and maybe a little bit of drool and snoring, just like satisfied at the table.
Absolutely, and I think that's where we fade for this story.
I'd actually like to have a little epilogue moment.
Absolutely, let's do epilogues.
So I think what we see is Sally steps forward. She's gathered the whole town around, and she pulls this pipe out of her pocket, and she turns and shows everyone this nice reed pipe, and then she grabs it and she breaks it in half. And she drops it down and everyone cheers. And I think after the cheering stops, we see this, dum, dum, dum. And we see this like zoom in on the fiddle where there's this secreted pipe inside.
Nice. And Brink, what about for you? What's your epilogue?
I don't know that Brink has an epilogue. I think what we see is I lied. Here's an epilogue.
Okay.
I think we see Brink like showing up at what was the name of the place? The widow, the
Widow's Tears?
The Widow's Tears, which is the one
Widow's Mercy.
Widow's Mercy, right? Which is the one that he's still allowed to play in.
Yes.
And he shows up with his bag of coins, and he actually wins that first day. And he maybe like loses, but not enough till he could be out of coin the second day. And then he shows up the third day and leaves empty-handed. And then you sort of see him walk back into the Wise Fellows Lodge, and he lights up his pipe, and he's, waiting for his next opportunity to gather some coin and then go back to.
Excellent. And what about for Milo Yuhai?
I don't think there's much of an epilogue after my dinner there. I think that probably just him sitting in the corner with the last little bit of hoarded princess tears, and as Brink comes in, sort of smiling and nodding, and Well, I'm sure that very soon the game will be afoot.
Excellent. And that is where we'll stop. Thank you all very much for this very strange thing. So we noticed the ties thing was an issue with the dream thing. So that's something that to make note of for the future. Let's just go. Anything anybody wants to say about stars or things you want to point to or anything like that? That's the one sort of mechanical note we had. We got a little bit closer on Dream to getting to the 5s, but still didn't quite hit it. But I don't know if that's a longer term thing or what. But your thoughts, Stephen? Stars, wishes, whatever you want to say.
So stars, I'll say. So this session seemed a lot more silly than the last session, which was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed the story that you came up with, Lowell. It tied everything in really well. It seemed very Pinocchio-esque to me. And I started writing down a list of the puns that we had at some point with the duplicaos and all of that. That was beautiful.
Well, and I will thank you. This is mainly built on the rumors that you all brought me from session 1. So that was, I appreciate you giving me material to work with. Jesse, anything you want to say?
First of all, thank you. I know we talked about last session about like giving us opportunities to use some of those things, and you really did. I was very happy to be able to be like, I was like, I don't see how I'm going to be able to be invisible to animals. And you built a you built a mystery around animals, which was lovely. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of curious about like what kind of prep went into this for you. It was like delightful, first of all, just like, but I like for a game that feels like it's supposed to be lightweight, it also felt like you did like a lot of prep.
I only ever do an hour of prep at most.
Okay.
I looked at the rumors, and of course all that was brewing in my head in the week, and so then I just sat down an hour before the game and sketched out the bits and pieces.
Great, because if you can do that in an hour, then that's like exactly what you want. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Cool. But it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the silliness. I apologize. I did get distracted for like a minute or two in there. So I'm sorry about that.
Oh, no.
But like, yeah, I had a really good time. I think I'm still like I had a ton of fun playing the game. Like, I think it works. But like, I wonder about some of that fine tuning around like what the pressure of Dream is supposed to do exactly, and like how that sort of plays out over a few more sessions with all the bits and pieces, and there's apparently advancement, which I was unaware of. And
yeah, I will say, yeah, I think this is a really, really good game as it is, and some tuning and some adding in of new things. I think this could be just dynamite.
Oh yeah.
I think this is so close to being just dynamite. The concept is so good. I think all of the bits that he's come up with, the flaws and the previous work and all of those things are great, and I'd love to see more of that. And I loved all the pipeweed.
Yeah.
I think they're bizarre and hilarious.
I just want to like make another dozen of them.
Yes, absolutely. Tyler, anything you want to say?
Stars, of course, both of Stephen and Jesse, y'all, I love these characters. They were really nicely done. I think it was, fewer players, more gets done. The three of us together, we really got to see these characters. A lot of this just really sang. And part of it was coming in for a second, really tight thing. We were able to hop right in and loved both of your characters. Just really nicely done. To go back to what Jesse said, and Stephen as well, of the story, the Pinocchio bits of stories. I got a little bit of Bremen Town musicians. But the idea that you gave us that Empress, you gave us the the Cantankerous Mule last session, and to have it so flawlessly be a part of this one, that's just good GMing. I mean, if it's coming in here with going, okay, I've got these, the circus and the this and the that were put up to me, and you flawlessly put together that whole, this organically felt like a wonderful mystery that was so fully visioned. It was great.
Good. I'm so glad. That's so nice to hear.
For the mechanics, where we're talking about those, there are a couple of things on it. There's some weirdnesses of what the power words do. Like Stephen, with your sneaky bit, rules-wise, if you invoke it, you're just supposed to succeed, it feels like, as rules as written.
Yeah, I need to look at that and how that works. Well,
I thought it gave me an extra die, so that's the way I was using it.
Because
it says it will succeed without complications. Is that the word for the power words?
Let's see here. That's the compel. It's bless, evasion, and stealth.
Mm-hmm. And back where we have the rules booklet you gave us,
when you use the word bless to bless something that takes several hours to complete, regardless of dream roll, that activity has no risk for participants until the next nightfall. That's a really good point.
It's not so much me talking to you. It's just an odd thing. First off, it's a long ritual. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to bring into play. And then once it's in play, because we didn't do it like a ritual, so you wouldn't have had, it wouldn't have fallen through that you would have automatically gotten it, because we never played it with it being a ritual.
But it does say right at the start, you may use a word of power as part of an action roll if the word is relevant to the action. So that's mostly how we were playing it.
Yeah.
But bringing in that other element, that's that's a really big power for a game that doesn't feel like it's as much playing around with rituals beforehand and doing all that sort of thing, which is an interesting part to the system that I'm not sure is fully realized.
Okay, yeah. It would be more interesting to really look at how that plays into things. Yeah.
But I think I agree with you. This is just a fun, interesting game, and there's a lot to it that is, because of the simplicity of system, really lets you kind of let loose and do stuff, and that's really fun. It was a really fun game. So I don't have like thorns to give it. It's just the sort of wish of, I kind of wish to see this in a little bit more full-fledged written out game. This has a ton of potential.
Yeah, it's good stuff, and I'm so glad I ran this, and I'm so glad I ran it with you guys, you all. Had a good time. I enjoy running mysteries, and I enjoy running slightly odd things. So that was all good. So I'm going to stop the recording.